Hello everybody and welcome back to the Bluebird Project workshop. We are now back by popular demand, not that we've ever been away, with the rebuild on the RS200 chassis. For those just joining us, this is the original chassis number 68, which is the car that took Mark Renison to the British Rallycross Championship in 1980 sometime. And we've had it right down to bare bones. We've done a lot of repairs to the honeycomb. We've put the A-posts back in, having repaired them and where they fix. And at the end of the last film, we just put the roof back on to make sure that the A-posts were in the right position. If they'd been in the wrong position, we wouldn't have got the roof on and we'd have a world of pain, but it went on. So having got it on, the next job was to get it back off. So we took it straight back off again to crack on with the build.
When it goes on for good, it's riveted down the sills and it's also bolted into the roll cage and shimmed so that it all fits properly, but there's no point doing any of that until such times as it's going on for once and for all. So we just lift it on and off for the minute.
And with the roof off, we handed it to our tame cleaner, Novi, who can clean anything. He could clean up a crime scene with a cotton bud. He could dip a chandelier in a septic tank and he'd get it spotless. So we gave it to him and he took it off the back of the workshop and got stuck into getting it spotless.
Novi, what are you doing? What's that your thing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Staying warm and dusting this off. Really just to do it. Looks a little bit sad, so we're just going to give a little bit of a clean up, but try not to disturb the original.
That's it, you've done that before, is it?
No, never.
No.
Not quite right.
Pass your wipes. Oh, you haven't had another accident, have you? Oh, Novi man, we'll never get the floor clean. There we go. Last time we were swabbing the floor for days after you had one of them episodes. I've never seen it so clean. Look at that. As you can see, Novi did quite a spectacular job on the roof, and this is all part of the plan for this car because it's not being made immaculate. It's not having everything powder coated and all fancy paint schemes. It's going back as it was. The other car, 139, that was restored to the highest possible standard. This one, I've always said, when it's finished, it's going to make a good restoration project for somebody. So the roof is staying as it is. I know that'll horrify a few people because it's full of holes and dings and scratches, but it's staying as it is. The only thing we're going to do is lift the GB1 graphic off very carefully and put it on a card behind some glass in a frame to preserve it, because that wouldn't last. Otherwise, what you see is all you're ever going to see.
In the meantime, we had to make yet another honeycomb panel.
And the panel is to close that hole, which I assume was cut during the boat's rallycross days. So hang on. That's Bluebird's tinsel. That always went on the air intakes. And it should be on the air intakes on Bluebird now, but it isn't.
Circle on it as well.
Dangly things. Oh, do you want the dangly things? Hey, hang on. There you go, have the dangly things.
Rudolph's bells.
Rudolph's bells. Sleigh bells in the snow.
Bells in the bells.
It's Christmas! And Bluebird's tinsel is now on the RS200. Hey, see? Gordon, the ever loyal house husband, just automatically took the end of the bells and... See that? He didn't have to be asked, didn't have to be told, he just knew what was expected. Is that right, Gordon? That's exactly. Do what you're told.
There you go.
Hey, well done. Looks lovely. I suspect they ran one fuel tank. There should be another one behind there, behind the driver's seat, in the bulkhead. A little one in here, and this one has all the pickups for the fuel. It has the filler neck. It has all these various holes that let pipes in and out for fuel coming out, going in, being returned. And they've just cut a savage big hole in the bulkhead, probably for access to a bag tank. And that looks like 6 milli core. So that needs a closing plate. And because we've got the materials, I thought, right, we'll make a honeycomb aluminium panel to close it. So it's got inserts that have been machined up from a bit of stock. And they've been glued to a piece of sheet. And there's a piece of core, which I'm going to cut. We're going to put core in the middle. Bond it all together and that'll make a nice panel. It's a bit over-engineered, but better over-engineered than under-engineered. So I'll cut a bit of core and we'll take it from there. You might have a job starting that because I suspect it's rusty.
Got to go tight straight away.
Yeah, well, we'll run an M6 tap through them,
Well,
clean them up.
before I do these, I really need to do them one at a time.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. We'll get a tap through them and get them cleaned up. And I'll be making a closing panel for there. I tried to find an M6 tap before to clean those threads, and I'm struggling.
No.
I will have one. I'm going to look again in a minute because we'll need to clean them. So how are you going to mark your picture holes is what I want to know.
Yeah, that's...
The hole finder.
going to show me.
The hole finder.
Yeah.
Right, you can soon make a one.
Make one, yeah, we'll make one.
Make one. Make a back marker. Here's a little thing you might find handy if you haven't seen one of these things already. You know, if you have a panel, say, you know, there's a hole in a panel and you need to put another thing over the top to close it, but there's already holes in the first one. If you can't get round the back to drill through on the same pitch, which we can't on the closing panel on the bulkhead, how do you line all your holes up? So there's a really simple way to do it, a really simple little tool that you can make, no problem at all. So I'll show you one, and you might find it handy one day on your restoration or whatever you're doing. Here it goes. Right, what I've got going on here is two bits of material. That one has holes in, that one doesn't. I need to put two holes in that one that correspond exactly with that one. Now, let's assume I can't get around the back, because quite often you can't. I'm going to use one of these. And it's a very, very simple tool. It's just a bent piece of aluminium. And it's had a little crown punched in it there, which will automatically want to fall into and center on that hole. So you know that that's going to be exactly in the center of the hole. Now, up here is a little hole in there, a 3/32 hole. And if I put the other piece of material in there and clamp it up, and I drill a pilot hole, or I spot that, that is going to be exactly above the other one, because the little crown in the back has sat in the hole in the back panel, and that sits directly over the little crown. So if I get my drill and I put a spot in that, then I can drill on that, and that'll come out in the right place. Well, you're going to say it doesn't matter because the whole thing can do that, but it will when I've got to do the second one. So I'll drill that and show you what I mean. Right, what I've got this time is a pin through the first hole that I drilled, and the hole finder into the second one. And if I spot that one now, take the drill, a spot in there, and then I dismantle that, pop the pin out. And by the way, everybody needs to buy some skin pins. Have you seen them on Car SOS using roofing screws? I mean, really? Do you know you're on television? Anyway, pop a hole in that. Always deburr the holes. Always, always. Just a drill in a little wooden handle. Always deburr the holes so it sits down flat. So now we're pinned back through the first hole, and if I've done my job correctly, that should go through there. And I've found the holes. Yeah, that's rough and ready. That was a very basic demonstration. Take the time, make the tool properly, take the care, and you'll get a really, really nice job doing that. Anyway, today's top tip. How's it going out?
One slightly off centre. Like a little drag. One at a time.
One at a time. You're learning now. Supervisors, yeah. You need some shovels and things on the ground. Council workers. Oh, here comes Debs with a teapot. Kettle. You come out from inside your greenhouse then, Nobby?
Yes, that's what going.
Hello, Nobby. How much is that Nobby in the window? Hey, one closing plate. So that's going to be the outer one, and that's going to be the inner one. And we're going to put some core in between and some inserts, and that will work a treat. You happy?
Well, the hole's line up-ish.
The hole's line up-ish, that'll do. As long as it's up to RAF standards, it shouldn't crash too soon. Nice and clean for the glue. Will do. Okay, so.
Drop it on.
Yeah.
Bolt.
Bolt. Ugh. Oh no, you got glue on the bolt.
Of course.
Oh, we can't have glue on the bolt. That'll stick like poo to the bedclothes if you do that, John. Where's the bolts?
There.
Oh, there. Let's try this a slightly different way then. If I scoop a bit of glue onto the back of that, and if I do a few of these, the last one will be great. And when I take these out next week, you won't be here. So you don't really need to worry about it. For the ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to put glue on the back of here so such it doesn't get on the threads.
And then it was just very much a case of rinse and repeat. Glue, insert, bolt, glue, insert, bolt, and keep going till we got all the way around, filled them all up. It looks like the side of a battleship in a minute. A final flourish on the spanner and leave that to set. We go around the inserts. So after all that frantic spannering and then left for a few days, it was time to whip it back off again. So more frantic spannering.
Hello, Debs. Hello. I'm just going to take this off, and when this comes off, we'll be able to put some honeycomb core in there and put its lid on, and we'll have an immensely strong closing plate. There's a Novi. Go away, Novi, you pest. I hope the glue hasn't got out the back. Oh no, it's moving, we're all right. I had visions of getting to take these out and the thing's still glued solidly to the bulkhead. Last one. I'm pretty sure this isn't, oh, I was going to say I'm pretty sure it's not glued itself on, but quite evidently it's not glued itself on. There we go. It has its inserts. Ah, they're on there solid. So now we're going to put the 10.4mm core on it, and then we'll glue that onto there. We'll put the black resin round and chamfer that off and sand it, and that'll be a nice little closing plate to fill that hole, because they've cut a yarking big hole in the bulkhead which shouldn't be there, and if there is any significant loss of strength, it's back. There you are. So I'll cut a bit of core and we'll take it from there. This has proven to be a very effective way of cutting core, just to clamp it in the vise and put a clamp the other side of where you want it, because otherwise it just splays and splits and unravels itself as you cut. I was before putting tape around it, but this seems to work a lot better. It's very handy. That's how you cut core. Well, it's here anyway. The glue and this, in theory, should just pop straight back over there. Oh, it's so far, John, so far. Oh! Look at that. Nice. Now we need to pile that up with something to make sure that it stays properly pinned down. And then we'll put some weights on it. Top, like that.
What we've discovered are very effective for squishing these panels together when the glue goes off are big, heavy ceramic tiles. These are patio tiles. They're about 1 inch thick and they weigh a ton, and we've got a half a dozen of them, so we just pile up as many as we want and they stay flat all the time. They're really good.
I was going to put another tile on the top.
All right.
And then we'll put them on top of the tile. That can go in there. Stick them in the middle. And there we go. Another honeycomb panel. Laid up. I'm out of breath. It's now a couple of days later and that's glued. So that's the bottom skin with the honeycomb glued into it and all the inserts. So I need to mix a bit of glue up, a bit around the inserts, a bit of dribblage, as Jason calls it.
Multiple dribblage required there then.
Multiple dribblage. That's going to become a thing now.
This has taken on a very different turn, this conversation.
Yeah. That'll be one for John tomorrow. We'll be building something. I'll say, John, you're going to have to put multiple dribblage into that, mate.
Into that.
What?
Jason. I came up with that rubbish.
Jason. He's from down south. And we'll get the lid on that. And not only that, panel finished. And these are the through the week jobs that I come in and do ahead of the guys coming in the weekend. So we'll get on with that. Green custard, liberally spread, lashings and lashings of glue. And that should be the top. That should fit there. And I'm not going to bolt this together. I'm just going to position it and weight it, because if I bolt it, the bolt heads are going to stick up. And if the bolt heads stick up, I'm going to uphill and down dale trying to put weights on it. So I'm just going to position it perfectly. Put some big heavy lumps on it. And then find a few more heavy things and we'll get that weighted down and we'll leave that, and by tomorrow that should be one panel. So far, so good. And there we have it, clamped. Nicely lined up, all the holes line up, clamps on. That will sit there until Saturday now probably. And then we'll have a panel. Chamfer the edges down, put some black stuff in. That'll look the business.
And sure enough, come Saturday, it was all glued nice and solid, and it's the same old thing. Take it apart and have a look. This bit never gets old for me. It's like opening Christmas presents, undoing all the clamps and having a look and seeing what we've created. And here's another little thing you might just find interesting.
What this is a press tool that we made to remanufacture those, which is a Peugeot 205 T16 CV joint boot. And they were all pressed on that tool. And then the rubber was bonded on later. And that's what that is. It's not just a weight. It's a little press tool. Cute, isn't it? And here is our finished panel. And it's got a little bit of extra treatment in that it's got some black epoxy down the edges. That just needs a bit of a sand. Any old glue that isn't used just goes straight in the edges of these panels so we have no waste. So that needs a little bit of a dress off with a sander, which I will do now. And then I'll give it a quick test fit, show you what it looks like. And when we're in at the weekend, we'll have a little bit extra spare glue and just finish all these edges and just keep at it till it looks spot on. And even if it doesn't look spot on, it's behind the passenger seat, so you'll never see it. But there we go. Ow, that hurt more than I was expecting. Another honeycomb panel. And as always, if you like what we're doing here, or you like any of the other stuff, whether it's the Bluebird underwater stuff, whether it's airbrush art or miniature engineering or any of that stuff, don't forget to do the like and the subscribe so we know you care. I've said that before. Right. And that, as you already know, goes there and closes the hole in the bulkhead with a nice strong honeycomb panel. And as I mentioned before, that is well and truly behind the passenger seat. And there's another thing here, there's another hole, and that's where the transfer case goes for the four-wheel drive system. And that's also behind the passenger seat, making it near impossible to get at, but that's another story for another day. And if anybody fancies an afternoon in the Bluebird Project workshop with us lunatics drinking tea and eating tonics, there's a bit of filling and flattening to be had there. Yeah, on with the next thing. There's a bracket we need to show you. And the bracket is this one, which holds the steering column, and it wraps around the plank. It has bolts passed through the inserts, and the steering column runs through here and is attached at these two bolts. And it was all part of Ford's grand plan to make the steering interchangeable left-hand drive to right-hand drive in a simple way. And another part of that plan that never really worked. Because if you look carefully, you'll see this assembly here where the column actually goes is off-center. It's that way. Which meant you needed a different one for that side. And the pedals were offset, so you needed different pedals. And the wiring harness didn't work because the fuse box was right in the way of this on that side, and half of the wires wouldn't reach far enough to plug once you'd moved it. So it was a great idea on paper, but the reality didn't really get off the ground. But we had to get this bracket cleaned up. It was in a bit of a state, so we had to get it cleaned up and get it ready to go again. And the first job was for John to get all the nuts and bolts out of it that was seized up after several years of lying in a container. All right.
Not coming off.
Not getting them? No,
Not snapping yet, but
is it just stripped?
I think it's just stripping now.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting. I was just going to chop them through the middle with a cutting disc and throw them away. That's the steering column bracket. It's a bit tatty, that one. That one actually came from 139. That's from my car. Yeah, I had a cleaner one. That one's covered in rallycross muck. I had a cleaner one that went in the other car. So that one you've got there is from 139.
Before we did anything on the bracket, we fitted it to the plank so we could find the location of a final 2 inserts that we hadn't drilled and installed, so we could drill those using the bracket as a tool and get the inserts right.
That looks good. Need to be a little bit there. Whee! Has that got it? Perhaps that'll just fold up good. That's got it. You're there now. So you can drop some bolts in and we'll drill these two. I'll go and get a drill.
First we spotted them with a 6mm drill, and then we knocked the bracket back off again and drilled them right through with a 6mm drill, bearing in mind the strengtheners in here from when we rebuilt the plank. Then they were drilled out to 14mm, which will take the 13.8mm insert very, very nicely indeed. And finally, clean everything up with a deburring tool. Meanwhile, Gordon was tapping away at the bracket with a hammer, but it wasn't going especially well because it was quite badly stretched.
Tin bashing, Gordon. Tin bashing. Tin bashing.
After a bit of pretty ineffectual tapping with a hammer, we decided it was going to be easier just to lose that part and stick a new piece of material on.
We're gonna have the end off this, Gordon. Yeah, it's too badly stretched. So if we'll lop that off, we'll stick a new bit on. And this is what we do to clean steel. Yeah, you can blast it. Blasting is good. It's quite violent though. This has just been in some phosphoric acid solution since the weekend. And as you can see, there's brush the dust off, the rust I should say, comes straight off. And the best of the phosphoric is that it doesn't attack the steel, whereas blasting does. It eats away at it, it stretches it, but the phosphoric just takes the oxide off and leaves you with nice clean metal. And it does it while you're not here. And it works in the cold. It's marvellous. That's how you do it.
And then Novi gave it a nice coat of water-based rust converter, which is very good.
What are you doing, Novi?
What this does is chemically create a layer of black iron oxide, which, unlike red rust, is stable and tends to prevent corrosion and protect.
And I've just had this out of the acid, soaked it well in water, and then cleaned it all up with the old white brush there. Now just treating it with rust treatment before Bill set it out with his liquid glue. Yeah, it's got well. That little piece has got to go onto it, so
Right.
on the bottom. Yeah, looking rather better when it started.
It is indeed.
Today's first job. Gonna weld that strip into there. That was cut away because it was pretty well warped and not very good, so it's easier just to replace it. So I'm going to fire up the TIG set and we'll glue that into there, and then the whole bracket is going to be tried on there. So let's crack on. Oh, I've been welding since I was 10 years old. Done everything you can think of. Stick weld, MIG, TIG, gas, you name it. Still forget the earth half the time. And try again.
That's better. Rookie error. Duh.
I'll put a few little spots on there. That's how you do that. Fully welded now. We'll get that dressed off with a grinder and do a bit of hammer work on it, and then we can drill some holes in it. And that'll be ready to go on the car.
And there it is. All repaired. It still needs a little bit more cleaning. It needs a coat of etch prime. It needs a coat of paint. But otherwise, once the plank is painted, that can go on, and we can see if we can find a Mark I Sierra steering column to make the whole ensemble complete. Getting there. Off to eBay. So that's a few of the little jobs that we've ticked off over the holidays, and since we've got our closing panel in the bulkhead, we've got our steering column bracket done,
We've got the roof all cleaned up, and we've also got the plank in. It's in for good. Glues, rivets, the whole shooting match. But that's a different story, so we'll get to that. So in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. There'll be another update soon because the plank is done. I just need to edit the video. Yeah, we'll see you very shortly. Cheers. Good to be back on the car. See you later.